Media Podcast with Kurt Maggs. Kurt Maggs Radio.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Kurt Maggs Radio Show. Also the host of the Key Witness Media Podcast. What's poppin'? This is the 2020 wrap-up show. Won't be for you too long. Know a lot of people got a lot of things going on. Hopefully you're not going out in the public like that, partying and rubbing elbows with people who may have that nasty virus. First, I would like for everyone to, I want to acknowledge everybody throughout the year who's been doing downloads, who's been showing me support on these podcasts, encouraging me to keep going. I want to do is get myself better on the microphone. I think it's going to require for me to keep doing it. I would like to commit to a weekly show. I do have I made some adjustments and added some features more so that I can be able to bring you more podcasts and radio shows without messing with my bandwidth. First, I would like to acknowledge one of the people who has really been supportive and has showed me a lot of love. Even let me know that he found my podcast on different various sites, and I definitely appreciate him letting me know, because I didn't know that I was even on the other different platforms. Sometimes you can get picked up by other platforms and you may not be told about it. So I definitely appreciate getting that information. My cousin Will was keeping me on my toes. He even asked me questions about certain things that was going on and certain people, and I definitely appreciate and acknowledge him for checking me out. Man, we got so many stories. I think if I can get all my cousins on here, we can tell you guys some stories that you would not believe. First thing you'll be saying, you lying. You is lying. There's no, man, I'm telling you, we got stories on top of stories on top of stories. Just a bunch of craziness. Definitely appreciate everybody. I know that 2020 didn't turn out the way that we wanted to. I had set some goals for 2020 about this time last year, and I was able to get off my list. I was able to get about 7 things accomplished. I would have been able to get the other things accomplished if it wasn't for COVID. COVID really put a damper on everything, but I'm hoping that for 2021 things will finally slow down. Well, we have a vaccine that's out there now, and we may be heading in the right direction. I know that they predicted there were going to be a lot more deaths and everything like that, but we're going to remain positive and focused. I think if everybody just follow the protocols that they have set, listen to what the CDC and scientists and people who knows what's going on with this disease, with this virus, some call it a disease. Just pay attention and listen to the people who know, and not some guy that, off the street. I've heard some crazy stories, and I've even heard people say this is a government conspiracy and this and that and this and that. And I understand it. I understand where you're coming from, and I'm not going to sit back and say I don't clearly understand or don't know. But if it is a government conspiracy or who's ever trying to do this, it's working. My family has definitely been affected by it. One of my cousins, he lost his dad, which is my uncle. He lost his father to COVID-19. I lost another relative to COVID-19. Had a few people around me to pass away from COVID-19. So if it's some type of government conspiracy, it's real. So we need to cut it out try to do whatever we can to help combat this, and so we can get back to a normal life in a normal way. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and play a song for you. The song is called Drift. Give me a second to get my board together. And here we go. We got a song called Drift, and you're hearing it on the Kurt Maggs Radio Show. What's poppin'?
Witness music.
Back in the building, Kurt Maggs representing the Keep Witness Media podcast, also the Kurt Maggs Radio Show. Everybody doing okay? Just want to do a quick wrap up here. You can get that track Drift on any of your sites that you decide to, when you listen to your streaming music platforms. Right now, I don't have any music. Some people may prefer not to hear the music. What do you think about it? A lot of times I use background music to kind of mute out everything that's going on behind me. Sometimes my son likes to play that Fortnite, and he can get very loud, even though he's in a whole different room with two doors closed. In the room that he had, you can still hear him in the background. So a lot of times I'll mute, and just the distractions that could distract people. Some people, when I went back and listened to some of the older episodes, I noticed that I had the music just as loud as I was talking, and I said, oh boy, I've come a long way as far as that category of being able to do that. But I just want to share with everybody some of the things that I have set aside as far as goals, some of the books that I've read, some of the things that took place in 2020 that even though things were odd and different, we was finally able to get things going. So hold on. Let me get a little bit of background music because now I'm starting to get annoyed from my own voice. So I can't do it. So let me find a backing track. Here you go. Yes, we're here back in the building. Some of the goals, the way that I set my own goals, I like to write them out. And some people do it out through the whole year. There's only one goal that I do for a whole year. The rest of them I do them out in every 3 months. Some may say every quarter, however you want to situate it. But I start off with a bunch of small goals and one main goal. One of the goals that I did set for 2020 was to actually put out a instrumental single. Now that instrumental single is not actually purposely just set out for just the public to buy it or however you want to it's just for listening. But there's different versions of that song. But the purpose of that will be for some commercial or a backing track to a video or to someone who's doing independent film, TV commercials and stuff like that. A lot of people are definitely able to put out their own music. And while I have done releases over the years and I've played on other people's projects in some form of fashion or even just mixed or mastered it, I noticed that it was getting very easy to put out a song. And a lot of people was like, hey, man, you're still going to put out some stuff? And I kept on, saying, I just kind of sit back and listen and watch what everybody else is doing. And what 2020 did, it showed me what the younger people are doing. Do you realize that there are people, we used to do the music and mix and master it at the end. Nowadays, these young people are doing the music, and as they're making the tracks, they're mixing and mastering it at the same time. Wow. So I don't know if we're missing something or if they kind of figured it out. But I remember being in mix and mastering sessions that would take 5 or 6 hours, and we still wasn't satisfied with what we had, and that was just listening to it. But these guys nowadays are mixing and mastering as they go, and it does make the process a lot faster, and it streamlines it. Technology has definitely changed. I can go back all the way to reels, to DATs, just seeing everything change. I remember before we was even working with Pro Tools and some of the other DAWs that are out there. I remember thinking that this is not going to work. People will not want to sit back at a computer and do all of that work. I was definitely wrong. I even found myself doing this now. But I definitely appreciate technology, and I've learned to embrace it. I've even had young people help me to understand what's going on as far as the technology. And I've been being tutored on a lot of things that I didn't know as far as how to lay the tracks how they're laying it now and how they're manipulating. And back in my day, we were definitely manipulating stuff just on the reels. I worked up under a great engineer named Tom Ward, who showed me everything that I needed to know, and just watching him work and seeing how great of a engineer that he was, I definitely appreciate Tom Ward for taking the time to show me. And we're talking 92, the first time that I walked in the studio. Me and a couple of my cousins, we had no idea what we were doing and what we really wanted to lay down. But I'll tell you, after we had that one session, we came out with a ghetto smash. Undeniable. We came out with a song that we didn't know later on it was called Just a Lunatic. We had no idea that we would get that reception from not only the city, but from the block, from the hoods. And through two people on the track named Seesaw, and the other rapper was Low D. And it became just a phenomenal song where we was getting love from everywhere, from Chicago, East Chicago, Hammond. A lot of colleges were all into it. They even made it to Atlanta. The song had blew up so much that Seesaw decides to leave the group and do her own thing without telling us. Still love you, Seesaw, even though we didn't quite understand why you did that. But knowing how the music business and entertainment goes, it makes a lot of sense now. So we're going to do whatever we can. Oh, man, I did not mean to do that, y'all. I'm sorry. So sorry. Back on track now. Back on track. But what we need to do here, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. The 2020 wrap-up show. We're going to talk about how we need to become better as far as people. We've seen the George Floyd situation. We've seen the Breonna Taylor situation, and everybody has their own opinions and what they think and what they feel about it. And me being a black man, I know what it is to be harassed. I'm not even making it up. No one can tell you what that feeling is when a police car is following behind you and you look back and you're seeing those red and blue lights flashing behind you. We also saw the rise of Black Lives Matter. Now, while I am not 100% for the organization, especially once you read and understand how it formed, what it's all about, where the money's going, which is always the important part. Where is the money going and what's the funding? You get a better understanding and not understand why I don't agree with Black Lives Matter in that form, in that format. But there's a lot of people out there who honestly think that it's okay. And I'm not going to knock anybody else's belief or what they think in support of. But I'm just not 100% sold on it. And until someone can show me something different, I believe that our lives matter as far as the black community. Some people saying, well, what about other people's lives? All I can speak about is being a black man. If you want to say your community also serves under that, then that's fine. But I'm only speaking for myself as a black man. And we did see the rise of so many things going on. Hopefully we can put more focus on having more of our officers take the initiative to get to know the community and the people around them. A lot of times we're getting people from different communities and expect them to understand when they don't know what type of people they're dealing with. They can only go by what they see in the media, on TV, and movies. And that's not a fair assessment of black people. I noticed that a lot of times when black police officers patrol and take care of their own community, there's less chance of any type of violence or any type of being killed. So as we move on to 2021, hopefully we can come together and have dialogue. So far, we haven't had the dialogue. If there's a lot of dialogue going on, I haven't heard about it. I'm ready and willing to go to where the dialogue is going, where it's going on, and invite me there to go hear it and see it. But so far, I haven't really heard no big time dialogue. I try not to get into heavy into politics because sometimes people will do and say anything for a vote. I'm at the age where I don't have time to sit back and worry about what somebody's political aspirations are. But 2021, I think that I'm going to start opening up and discussing these things. The only way we can be able to resolve a lot of the issues and the problems that we have, which all of it is not going to go away. Some people like it the way it is, the separation and things like that. You got the poor against the rich, and there's a middle class, and the banging of the classes. Now you have the banging of the colors. And I wanted to thank God for my mother and father who raised me, and for most of the part of my life in mixed communities. That was a blessing for me, because I know how to deal with people from different walks of life. I know how to deal with people who don't look like me, with the same color as I am. I know what they like. I know what they think. I know how they feel about certain things. And shout out to them for just showing me that it's more than just me in this world. It's more than just me and my people. There's everyone all over the world. And we all have to come together collectively in order to understand where we're coming from. I thank God for some of my friends and even some of my past coworkers who have become friends. And sometimes we had those conversations where there was a few that came out and said, "Hey, Kurt, the only time I've ever been around black people is when I started working here, and I noticed that the black people treat me better than my own people." I said, wow, I don't know what to tell you. That's crazy. But moving forward, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about some of the books that I did get to read in 2020. First, I would like to mention that I've read the Dave Ramsey Total Money Makeover. Also, I'm in the middle of the book called Entre Leadership. That's about entrepreneurship and being a leader as far as doing entrepreneurial things. I've always been sort of entrepreneurial in everything that I do, and I like to do business. I've always had a fascination with business since I was a kid. Had the paper routes as a kid, cut grass, raked yards, did everything could to make $1. And I definitely always wanted to continue on with that and hopefully pass it down to people who really want to show how to make money independently, not always depending on the job, because sometimes those jobs will fail you. We've seen 2020, a lot of businesses close down. Some of them are never coming back. Some people will lose their families because they're not able to take care of them. Some will lose their homes. Some will lose their cars. Some will even lose their lives because they can't handle it. But Dave Ramsey is a great person to get information from as far as handling your financial business and how to take care of your money and how to spend it wisely. Also, I'm reading a book called James Clear, Atomic Habits, and that's about building up habits that are good, that's going to help you become better, organized, good, healthy habits instead of a bunch of bad habits. Also read the book by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson called Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. I think we don't really need to go too far into that one. Excellent book by 50 Cent as usual. I also read 50 Cent's 50th Law, which is nothing but a branch off of Robert Greene's book. What's the name of the book now? 48 Laws of Power. It's called the 50th Law, which is the 50 Laws of Power. It's just in 50's own words instead of Robert Greene's words. Great book. Definitely would tell anybody to pick that book up. Hustle Harder and Hustle Smarter. There was a couple of other books that I'm working on now that I'm reading. One's called Black Titan. That's another book based off financial and seeing the ups and downs of people who are business people and how they handled themselves back in certain time periods. You need to check that book out. Man, there's so many of them I had to write on the list. I think every week or every month I'm gonna tell everyone the book that I'm reading, and maybe you can read the book and check it out. Tell me what you think, how you feel about it. Also this year, we've seen some things go on in sports world. We saw LeBron James and Anthony Davis help the Lakers become champions all over again. We also saw Tom Brady leave New England and head to Tampa Bay. Who would have ever thought that would happen? So far, we noticed that Tom Brady is having a lot more better success than New England is. My boy Bill Belichick. They're not even in the playoffs this year. And Lord knows we tried to see who's going to come out on top on that. And I'm not going to say Tom Brady's going to win the Super Bowl. He may get close to it. I mean, he finally has the weapons and everything that you would need to possibly make a Super Bowl run. Bill Belichick's case, not much talent. Kind of expected Cam Newton to work miracles. Cam Newton was scrambling and fighting for his life in New England. And some people saying, oh, Cam's done. I watched some of the games, and Cam Newton didn't really have a chance. I could see why Tom Brady was like, you're getting me these mediocre players, these very late draft picks. You're not willing to pay anyone, and then you still want me to continue my career. What was going on with Tom Brady was been the same thing that was going to happen to that happened to Cam Newton. He was going to be scrambling and running for his life, and possibly end his own career. So I don't blame Tom Brady for moving to Tampa Bay and leaving New England. We also saw another star shine, Lamar Jackson, for the Baltimore Ravens. Man, what a dynamic and explosive player that he turned out to be as far as a quarterback. Hadn't seen nothing like it since Michael Vick. Hopefully that Lamar can continue on to becoming a better quarterback, fine-tuning his passing skills so he doesn't have to always rely on his legs and can save himself some further abuse. But man, what a great thing to see him on the field. And don't forget about Baker Mayfield. I'm rooting for Baker Mayfield. I don't know how many people are, but I'm rooting for Baker Mayfield. I think there's a spark out of that young man that I think he can get something going. So far, Cleveland been doing pretty good this year, and I'm rooting for him. We got the LA Dodgers finally made the World Series and took it home. Congratulations to all of them guys there. Definitely appreciate what they did. Spectacular sports season, regardless of what was going on in the world, what was going on in the United States. All of these guys were able to make a difference and add a little bit of spark and excitement in our lives who are really into sports. We're going to go to another segment where I'm going to go ahead and finally wrap up the show. We also saw a lot of people leave this planet that we call Earth. And I'm just going to read off some names. Some of these people they were very influential at some part and some time in our lives, whether they were personal, that you knew them personally, or you just knew them from the screen. And I'm talking about the movie and the TV screen. A few of them had some influences on me. And One of the guys who most all of us know, Kobe Bryant, as far as basketball and the Mamba mentality. We saw him go in as a young kid, come out a superstar. Won quite a bit of championships and just got it done. Just got it done. And I just want to pay respects to some of these people. And I'm going to do a little bit of switching around here. So just be patient with me as I change the mood and change the music. And as we pay tribute to some of the ones who have lost their lives in 2020, I would like to pay homage, respect for what they left to us on earth, their legacy, and everything that they showed us. Definitely appreciate them from the bottom of my heart, and I'm pretty sure some of us will feel the same. First, I would like to acknowledge my grandmother, Allie Nicholson. Love you. Definitely appreciate what you put down and instilled in me. I remember you being the first person that told me when I got my first real job, you told me to go to work. Granny, I've never let you down. Also lost Don Nichols, my cousin's dad. Great person, hard worker, focused, greatly missed. Also, we saw Elder Carter pass away unexpectedly. Also, Irene Weaver. Gone but not forgotten. I've already mentioned that we lost Kobe Bryant this year. Chadwick Boseman, who played the Black Panther. Sean Connery. We saw 2 rappers who died senselessly by the hands of guns. Pop Smoke, King Von. Senseless deaths. We need to figure out what we need to do in order to bring peace in the black community, and that's what I'm about. Also, another person who played a very influential piece in my life, Eddie Van Halen, guitarist for Van Halen. First time I really paid attention to him and heard him, I remember him playing on a song called Michael Jackson, Hometown Hero, Beat It. I said, man, I want to learn how to play the guitar and shred it up like he did. Definitely appreciate you. We lost Tiny Debo Lister from all the Friday movies. You know who he was. He'll never be forgotten. Alex Trebek, there's not much left I can say about that. His passing was shocking. But thank you for what you left for us as far as making us think. Andre Harrell, Uptown Records. Charlie Pride, first black country singer to just explode. Don Wells. Regis Philbin. Peace and God bless. We're out of here. See you next year.
Kurt Max Radio.